Dan Perry here with another Dan on Tech Python video. We're going to introduce reading from a file, and in this case it's going to be a text file, and I've created a short file that's 5 lines long, and it just says this is line 1, this is line 2, and so on, so that we can see how we can read that file. Each line of the file, I hit return to go to the next line. I've created, or we're creating, a function called openFile that's going to open the file handle for us, or open the file for us. We don't have to do it in a function, but working in functions is a good way to work, and you could have this and reuse it. I'm going to pass it the name of the file, and then I'm going to return a file handle. What a file handle is a pointer to the file that you can then iterate through and move through, and then we're going to loop through and see how we can print out that data. So what we need to do in order to open a file is we could actually do this in the return statement in 1 line, but I'm going to do it in 2 lines. I'm going to have a variable file handle, or FH, and that's going to be equal to the open statement. And in the open statement, I'm going to supply the name of the file. And the name of the file is going to be stored in a variable file name. So file name, a comma, and then inside of quotes, you have to tell it how you're going to open this. We can open for read, write, or append. Later on, we may find that we need to open a file in binary mode, so we can also open in binary, but in our case, we're going to use R for read, and that will open that file for reading, and then I'm going to return that file handle. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to create a line or a variable in my main program called file name. It doesn't have to be, and normally won't be, the same as the name of the variable in your function, but in this case I'm going to. So I'm going to set it into lines.text. I don't have to supply a path because in this case that lines.text file is in the same directory as my Python program. If it was in a different directory or folder, I would need to supply the appropriate path. Then I'm going to call the function that's going to open the file. So I'm going to say that the file handle, and again, I don't have to use the same name, and in fact, let's call it file handle 1, or FH1, is equal to calling the open file function, which will then return that file handle that we can use. And then I'm going to set up a for loop that's going to iterate through the lines of the file. So I'm going to say for line in FH1, which is the file handle, and I'm going to just print that line. And hopefully when we run this program, it's going to open this file when we call the function. It's then going to return the appropriate file handle, and then we're going to iterate or move through a line at a time that file in this for loop, printing that line. And I've got an error here, traceback error on line 13 in file open. I did file opened, which is the name of the function. I was trying to call the function. There, what I actually want to do is the open command. So all I want to do is open the file, and now when I run it, it comes back and it prints, this is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3, 4, and 5. So the open command opens the file, passed it the file name, we opened it in read mode, and returned the file handle, and then we use that return file handle to go through a line at a time. Now, we did have an extra blank line in between each of these, because when we process this way, since each of those lines are separated by a return in the text, and our print statement ends with a return, we got an extra line through it, so we can fix that easily by saying end equal the null string. Now if I run it, I won't have the extra line between them. Here we have a program that opens a file for read mode, then it processes a line at a time through the file until it gets to the end of the file and prints that line. Thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos. Please check out and subscribe to our other Dan on Tech channel playlists.